Hello, everyone. How do you get more out of life? How do you get more out of life? Listen, we all want to get more out of life, and that's what this episode is about. It's going to be about how do you get more out of life. I'm your host, Gerald. This is Spiritual Talks. Let's get into it. You can get more out of life by simply asking more, raising your expectancy, raising your vibration, raising your frequency, and you can get more out of life. If you're always sad, sadness comes. If you're always happy, happiness comes. How do you get more? Depends on what you're holding inside. How do you get more? You start expecting more. What are you expecting? What you're expecting is what you'll end up getting. And what you are expecting is how you feel, right? That's what you're expecting. If you feel sad, you're expecting sad things to happen in your life. You're expecting moments to go throughout your life to line up with the way you feel. And imagine someone happy like me coming along throughout your day, just smiling and happy because God woke him up this morning and I'm just happy because, right? Just because, which you should be. How do I get more out of life? Well, I'm raising my level. I'm raising my frequency. I know that I can demand more out of life. I know I demand more out of life. I expect more. I command it. Listen, your children, your husband, your wife, they demand things from you, right? They demand your time. They demand your energy. What are you demanding from yourself? Because if you want to get more out of life, because I'm going to give you 4 or 5 tips, and get your pen and paper out, right? If you're a note taker, right? Your children demand things from you. Your job demands things from you. Life is demanding things from you. So the question now one must ask is, what am I demanding from myself? What do I demand from myself? Do I demand that I maintain a high level of happiness and positivity throughout the day, and I don't turn into a negative Nelly or negative Nancy, right? I keep my eye on the long-term goal. I don't let things bother me, right? What do I demand from myself? Everyone else is demanding things from me. What do I demand from myself? So the first thing is, I will demand a higher quality of life. How do you get more out of life? Number one, I'm going to demand it. I'm going to demand my life to be better. Everyone else is demanding things from me. My husband demands stuff. My wife demands stuff. The kids demand stuff. Society demands stuff. Listen, what do I demand of myself? Because I want to get more out of life. The other thing you could do is, require more. What are your requirements? What are your daily requirements? Do you have requirements for yourself? Right? What are your requirements? I require that I eat organic foods personally, right? I require that I drink bottled water, pH high. That's my requirement. What are you requiring life to be? If you want to get more out of life, you've got to set your requirements to more. I want more access to this. I want more access to that. Whatever your thing is, it could be food, it could be health, it could be wealth. I want more, and I'm going to require myself to be more. I'm going to require that I sleep enough time. Right? I'm going to require that I listen to the right things that get my energy and mood in the right place. I'm going to require that I eat and drink certain things that make my body feel good. What are your requirements? Right? So we got, how do you get more out of life? Number one, I'm going to demand it. Right? Number two, I'm going to set my requirements high because I want to get more out of life. So my requirements are raising up to the level in which now I want my life to reflect. My requirements. Come on now. What is the other thing, right? How do you feel? Right? If you're going to demand something out of life, right? It comes with a feeling, right? How do you feel about yourself? Right? So That's what the next episode is going to be about, self-care, right? If you want more out of life, it's coming down, it's self-reflection. How do you feel about yourself? Because if you don't have a high self-worth, you won't feel like you should have more of anything. You're going to feel like and you start to self-sabotage when life is good to you because your level of self-worth is low. If you want to get more out of life, you've got to raise your level of self-respect and self-worth. You have to hold yourself and look at yourself in the vibration that you actually see yourself. If you don't believe it, ask someone else what they feel about you. I guarantee you there's something great about you. I guarantee you there's tons of stuff that's great about you. You just haven't taken time to figure it out. I guarantee you, right? So, demanding more, setting your requirements higher, right? Setting your self-worth, working on your self-worth and your self-value, right? Because that's how you're going to ask for more. How do you get more out of life? I'm going to raise my level of worth. I know what I'm worth. That's why I'm going to get more out of life. There's a level I deserve it. I've done all this work. I've waited this long, right? There has to be something inside of you that says yes. Yeah, you have to say yes to the next level of your life. That is a personal choice, but you have to declare it. This is the next thing. If you want more out of life, there's a declaration. Are you declaring it? It's one thing to believe it. Okay, all right, Gerald, fine. I believe I should have a great life. Fine. But you don't speak it. You don't say it to other people. You don't speak life and declare where your life is about to go. You don't declare it. If you believe it, you'll speak it. You declare, you speak things over your life. What are you speaking into your life? I declare that my life is filled with love, joy, and happiness and peace. I declare it. What are you speaking over your life? It's declarations. There's a declaration of independence. I know you've heard of it. Do you have a declaration of whatever your name is? What do you declare over your life? Right? So I'm going to demand it. I'm going to set my requirements. My self-worth is going to get up. And then, right? I'm going to have declarations. I'm going to declare it. I'm going to speak into my life, right? The last one is belief. After I made the declaration, right? The base of all of that is how do I get more? I got to believe that I can have more. What are you believing? You believe everything the news says. You believe everything that was told to you. You believe all the negative things, right? You believe everything that hasn't served you. Drop your belief habits, especially if they haven't served you. It's time to take inventory too about noticing what beliefs you've had since a child, right? That didn't serve you. Things that they said you weren't great at. Things that they said, oh, you'd be better at something else. All of these stories, all of these labels and baggages and identities that you've been given. What do you believe? And I know it's heavy when you think about what do I believe? What do you believe for your life? What do you believe? Because that's what you're going to declare. Oh man, I believe it's always hard, you know. I believe life is good. I believe life sucks. I believe that good things, whatever you believe, that is your declaration. So you've got to watch it. If you want more out of life, what do I believe? There's my declaration. There's what I'm going to demand. There's my requirements because that's what I believe. I've got to watch what I believe, because that's when I'll start speaking it. You got to watch what you believe. How do I get more out of life? Because I'm watching what I believe. I believe I'm going to get more out of life. I'm believing. I'm guarding my mind. I'm taking charge of my thoughts. I'm being protective. I'm guarding my tongue. I'm guarding my tongue to speak life into my life. To speak life into my life. That's a good one. I'm guarding to speak life into my life. whatever you're believing, your declaration, you're going to speak it. That's what your requirements are. That's what you're going to demand. And that's what you end up with. Okay. All right, guys. So how do you get more out of life? That's how you do it. You demand it. You set your requirements high, your belief goes, your self-worth is high, and your belief level is high, and all of that wraps and encompasses in getting more out of life. But if you don't have those foundation principles, if you don't have any of those things that you're working off of, how do you get going, right? These are practical principles that you can apply to get going in your life. This will help you navigate. If you can't afford to get a coach right now at this point in your life, you can't afford to say, "Hey, I want to get one-on-one." Listen to this over and over and over again until you can't afford to get a coach. Because I guarantee you, when you figure out how to get more out of life, you're going to pay for better things, which is coaching to get to the next part of your life. I paid for coaching. People paid me for coaching, and I paid other people for coaching. Why? I haven't been the expert in everything in my life, and I guarantee you're not the expert in everything in every other area in your life. That's why I call the plumber. Do you call the plumber? That's why I call the mechanic. Do you call the mechanic? Who do you call to help work on your life? If the answer is nope, listen, did you get to where you are by yourself? Let that one breathe for a second. Did you get to where you are? Bad, good, indifferent. Did you get there alone? Did you have help emotionally, mentally, physically? If you're sad, did somebody help you get there? If you're depressed, did somebody help you get there? Somebody's helped you get to where you are in life right now. So I guarantee you're going to need help to get out of where you are. You had help getting there. You're going to need help getting out. And I want to help. All right. Share this message. Like, subscribe, follow, share. We're on Apple. We are on Spotify. We're on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're on Instagram. We're on Facebook. Everywhere, baby. Until next time, this has been amazing spiritual talk. And if you want to get more out of life, these are some practical tips. So I'll see you until next time. Namaste. All right, guys.